Hello and welcome to FSI Feature Friday. Good morning. So this morning we have Mr. Dwayne Swan from Colina. You say CFAL?
It's CFAL. CFAL stands for Colina Financial Advisors Limited.
Great. And we're going to be talking about investing. How do you invest? How much money do you need to invest? Can my $100 today do anything now? Or is there a price point that I need to work towards before I can invest?
There's no straight answer for that.
Okay.
It varies from person to person. I have this saying that I always use, that there's three things about money you should always know. First, money is to be made. All right. And that's easy. All you need is a job. Money, even you don't have to be working to get money. So that part of it, most people can handle. The second thing about money is that money is to be managed. Right? Money is to be managed. And then the third thing is money is to be multiplied. Now, you are here about the third part, multiplying your money. But whenever I teach or talk about managing or multiplying the money, I always start with the second one, managing. The problem with most people, why they cannot multiply their money, is that they have yet to learn how to manage.
Budget.
Right. See, you know this
my
thing.
favorite word.
All right.
Budget.
So we need to learn the budget, and that's the biggest problem. We want to live a lifestyle that takes 5-10 years to accomplish. We want to do it today. And mind you, for the most part, you can seemingly do it, but it's only to your detriment financially. So sometimes we have to learn how to make sacrifices today for a better life tomorrow. All right. So we need to learn how to budget. Not just budget, but I'm not saying being frugal with your money. I'm saying know where your money is going. Okay. Literally writing down how you can spend your money. And when you write it down, you live by that.
I get the writing down part.
Yes.
I can tell you every month where every dollar is going to go.
But
in practice, sometimes we're about $100 away from what it is. But every month, I try to get closer and closer to the mark.
See, the key thing is to every journey, there's a destination. So what you need to do is, that's where vision comes in. Vision basically is knowing the end before you start. So you want to know where you want to get to before you start. And then you work your way backwards. Okay, how do I get there? What would it take for me to get there? And then you work your way to the beginning. And then when you get there, that's when the journey starts. All right. And so you need to know, what do you want to do? Or what do you want to accomplish? What financial goal is there for you? And I hope you don't mind me, but I like to quote the Bibles.
Go for it.
All right. In Habakkuk chapter 2, I think it's verse 2, it says, write the vision and make it plain. All right, so that they that see it can run with it. What that means is that whatever your vision is, where you want to see yourself financially, write it down. And then every so often look at it. What you're doing is reminding yourself. It's almost like if you want to buy, if you want to save for a mortgage, or for home, I should say, then every time you see a new dress or a new pair of shoes that you want to buy, that you really don't need, but you like it and you want to buy it, then by looking at that vision, then I'll remind you, hold on, you're saving for this. And so that'll keep you kind of at bay from spending that money like that today. So you need to know where you want to end up, and then you start working towards getting to that point.
So that's just about setting goals.
Setting goals.
10-year goals, 5-year goals. You know where it is. You're trying to go.
That's exactly what you do.
Okay.
And then, because mind you now, most people have more than one goals. And some goals are long-term and some are short-term. And so you list your goals in priority. And then you set yourself to it. Set yourself at it. Now, unfortunately, depending on the age of the individual, they can find themselves in a financial mess. And so one of the things you have to do, other than budgeting, and then budgeting itself is a whole topic all by itself. And then another thing, which is, to me is almost as important as budgeting for most Bahamians, is debt reduction. A lot of us get ourselves in a lot of debt, whether it be loans and or credit cards. And then there's the department store cards, and then there's the furniture loans, and all these things get us in debt, and we are spread thin. And so I talk to people about debt reduction. Now that also in itself is a whole topic. So we could, your visit might be coupled. All right? And my pet peeve is debt reduction.
Okay.
That's what I love to talk about, because that's where most people are at. And so we need to look at ways to reduce debt. Because you find that when you do your budgeting, most people will find that the end result is in the red. And actually their expenses are far greater than their income. And so, but when you deal with debt reduction, you'll find that bottom line tend to change slowly in the positive, if you work at it correctly. Okay. All right. I've had people who've found themselves, $2,000-$3,000 in expenses more every month than income. And I sit down and talk to them, put them on a budget, give them a plan, and after a year and a half, they find themselves in a much better position. So those are the things that have to be done. Those are the things that have to be done. The next thing is after, and then once you've defeated that budget monster. In other words, you overcome that. In other words, you are living on a budget without any pain. Because humans are creatures of habit. And after 3-4 months of doing it, it's easier.
30 days make it happen.
Yeah, it becomes, it becomes easy to do. And then when you work on your debt reduction and you find that, and again, that too will depend on the individual, how it's customized.
Well, do you want to start with debt reduction then? If there's no way to start at investing, if it's smarter to start at...
The smartest thing to do
is start with
debt reduction. Now, that's for people who are in debt. Now, there are some people who might not start the borrowing process yet. Mind you, there's nothing wrong with borrowing, but it's how you borrow.
Yeah.
Right? And how you deal with it. All right? And those are the things that we need to deal with. Now, we can start with debt reduction.
Okay. Talk about debt reduction today.
All right, debt reduction. There are different ways that and this is not some rocket science that I'm dealing with here. It's very simple. It's just a matter of, and I know these things through trial and error and through reading. Really, and we are as especially as Bahamians, we tend to get into this cycle of borrowing. You get back to school, Christmas, summer, and every year it's the same process. If you look at most people loan applications, it's almost constant year to year.
The same loans.
Same type, yeah. And it builds and it builds and it builds. You actually increase it quicker than you reduce it. And then we find ourselves in a almost like in a hole where there's no way to get out. And so getting out of debt is painful. It's the same to me. I liken it as someone who spend their whole life sitting on the couch watching TV, eating fast food, junk food, and then putting on an extra 50 pounds, and then decide today I want to get back in shape. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to cause some pain, some sweat. And there are going to be days you just want to quit, but you can't, because the day that you actually reach that goal, then you will look back and look at it and say it's all worth it. All right? So first thing you need to do in debt reduction is knowing what you owe.
Okay.
Most people don't know what they owe.
Really?
No, you'd be surprised. They know I have a loan at this bank and that bank. I say, okay, now, what's your balance? They can't say. The most they can do is tell you what the monthly payment is. They cannot say what the interest rate is, when the maturity date is, what the per diem is. They can't tell you these things.
Wow.
And I would go on the limb and say 99.9% of the people cannot say those things.
Wow.
They might know, the only thing they know is what the monthly payment is and where they have to make the payment.
So you have to know how much you owe in
Yes, because in order to reduce the debt, you need to know these things.
Okay.
Sometimes it depends, like again, it varies from individual to individual.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, because you have to decide whether a consolidation is good or
lump it together.
Right. So, and again, a consolidation could help. Then again, consolidation is not always the best solution because you might be someone who's you're just going to go back. Because what consolidation does is it makes your disposable income larger.
Okay.
You know, and so that means you could go and borrow
more somewhere else.
You see, so you have to really be disciplined.
Okay.
To consolidate. So consolidation is one answer. Another answer is, hence the term debt reduction. Mm-hmm. I think John Avanzini calls it rapid debt reduction. Mm-hmm. John Avanzini, he writes a lot of books on reducing debt and how to manage money.
And you recommend reading them?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Anybody else?
What's the fella name? One of the leading economists in the United States. But if it comes, I'll let you know.
Okay.
But John Avanzini is good, and his books are not hard. They're not hard reading. You know, some books you read for the layman.
Technical.
Yeah, no, it's simple.
Okay.
And anyone who reads it will understand what he's trying to say.
Okay.
All right. And he has quite a few of them. So what you need to do is get to know
what the debt is.
What the debt is. Mm-hmm. How much debt you're in.
Yeah.
And then you could look at certain ways to paying those debts down. Mm-hmm. There are different ways of doing it. You can start with the smallest bill and try to get that out of the way quickly. Mm-hmm. Very important. All loans in the Bahamas are done based on simple interest.
Okay.
Right? Whereas interest is charged on the daily principal balance.
Okay.
So the key to paying a loan off early is reducing the principal balance.
Okay.
Which means that if you have an extra $5 in your pocket at the end of the day, put it on the principal of the loan.
Because it drops the principal.
And when I say extra $5, I'm not saying that figuratively. I mean that literally.
Okay.
You would be surprised what an extra $5 would do
to your
over the period of time.
Okay.
Because the quicker you pay your principal down, the less interest is charged. And the less interest is charged, the quicker your loan is paid off.
Okay.
All right? And these strategies, I'm saying, hold better to those who have mortgages.
Okay.
Okay? Better to those who have mortgages. Once you know what your whole debt is, then you need to sit down and try to decide what's the best strategy for me. You can either do it on your own, or you could go to a financial advisor. And do not go to your bank.
They want more of your money.
Right. Most bankers will not. In fact, I've seen bankers actually encourage people to, instead of paying your loan off, put the extra money on your savings account. And when you save up enough to pay the whole thing off, then pay it off.
Yeah,
but by doing that, you're paying interest. You see?
And you're also paying additional bank fees for the savings.
Yes.
Account, so it's double whammy.
Yes. So no, if you could do that, then just put it to the principal.
Yeah.
All right, you save yourself more. The average mortgage, just by putting an extra $25 a month on the principal, the average mortgage, average 25-year mortgage, you could save yourself over $60,000, $70,000 in interest just by doing that. Yes.
Okay. Ignorance is bliss.
Yes. And so when you sit down and you look at your whole debt, and you have to decide
the best
plan of action for you.
And you advise speaking with somebody that knows more about money.
Right.
A wealth
right.
Wealth manager, money manager.
Right.
Great.
And
read about it.
Yes.
Because the more you know, the more you can
yes,
help.
Read, yes. If you know anyone who has been deep in debt and is out of debt, it's good to talk to them.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised. Some people will freely share their secret or what they did. And so I would advise that. But if they want, they can come see me. Come sit down with me.
Definitely.
And
we'll be leaving your information.
And we can talk. The key is now once you determine the best action for you, now 2 words come into play. You have to be committed, and you have to be disciplined. All right. Now there are some ways that you can do it. One strategy is what I call what I've learned was the split payment strategy, whereas you take your payment, because remember now all loans are simple interest, so this will work perfect for you. You take half your payment and you make your payment every 14 days, not twice a month.
Yeah.
Every 14 days.
Because every 14 days, that means it comes down that little more
Right.
for the following 14 days.
So by paying every 14 days, you do 2 things. You pay 28 half payments every year.
Okay.
Not 28, sorry, 26. 26 half payments every year, which equates to 13 full payments in a year. So without trying, you actually made an extra payment. And not only that, because the simple interest on your loan, and the loans are based, and the loan is interest charged on the daily principal balance, you are decreasing your principal every 14 days instead of once a month.
Okay.
You see, so you save there also.
Okay.
All right. Another strategy is what I call what I've learned, I should say, because I learned all this, what I'm saying now, I learned from John Avanzini.
Okay.
The single payment strategy. Single payment strategy basically is if you have 5 loans and all those loan payments total up to $1,500, as far as you're concerned, until the last loan is paid, your monthly payment is $1,500. So whenever you pay off one debt, the payment that usually will go to that debt goes towards the principal of another debt.
Okay.
And normally you do it to the next, either to the one with the lowest balance. See, because what you want to do is get rid of them as quick as possible.
I think we think of that as free money.
Right. Most people say, that one is paid off, now I can go and buy this. No.
Okay.
As far as you're concerned, you still owe $1,500 every month.
Okay.
And so you keep doing that until you have only the last payment, which is the largest balance. And you're now putting all your monies towards that, which means that the interest is going to be paid and all that extra money is going to be going towards the principal.
Okay.
Is it? And it pays down.
Okay.
And you'll find that in a short period of time, you will be out of debt.
This is good.
Yeah. And once you're out of debt, now mind you, while you're doing this, you are making changes to your budget, because your budget should be changed every time there's a change in your lifestyle.
Okay.
Whenever, let's say if you're single, if you get married, your budget should change, because now you take on another individual who's going to increase your expenses. They may come with their own expenses. Plus, this other individual hopefully is bringing additional income.
Yeah.
So that changes things. You may get a promotion, a job change. You may change where you live. And I don't mean from Avon Rock to Freeport or to. I'm talking. You may move to Nassau. You may move to Abaco. And the expenses are different.
Yeah.
So all of these things, you may have a child or another child. All these things will cause your budget to change. So you should constantly be reviewing your budget. All right, and then once you get your finances in order, like if you are and once you and if you have let's say if you were to come to me for assistance and I have you on this program, as each of the bills are paid off, I'll have you come back to me, and we'll sit down and we'll look, see whether we should continue that or change.
Try something else.
Right. Let's say, for instance, you come to me and now all your debts are paid off, but only the mortgage is left. We might consider not putting all that to the mortgage. If things are depending on how things are with you financially, we may start now working towards savings.
Okay.
And an investment.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So
you have to know what you owe. You have to create a payment plan, and you have to get tight on your budget.
Right.
These are the first 3 fundamental things that you have to get together.
Exactly.
Get your money together.
Right.
Okay.
Right. See, what you want to do is you want to get yourself. See, the older you get, the harder things get.
Yeah.
More responsibilities, and so what you want to do, you want to make sure that the lifestyle that you want to live in the future, you're able to afford it. Most financial advisors or economists will tell you that when you reach retirement age, whatever you are earning annually at that point, you are going to need anywhere from 80 to 90% of that per year for each year that you live after retirement.
Okay.
Let's say, for instance, you're making $50,000 a year.
Your lifestyle and habits already amount to that same amount.
Right.
It's going to be
so you're going to need that. So even if you say, let's say 85%, you're looking at about $35,000 every year. You retire 65. The average woman will live to about 88 years old. So if you do the numbers, you're looking at, if you retire at 65, living to 80, 88, that's 23 years. And so you can need $35,000 for 23 years while you are not getting an income. So you're looking at $805,000 that you're going to need over a period of 23 years. So what do you do?
Where do you think it's going to come from?
Right. So all of this, what I'm saying, leads to that.
Yes. Okay. So
because you have to now put yourself in position where you can now invest money so that when you reach age 65, you have $805,000 sitting there waiting on you so that you can be able to take care of yourself for 23 years.
Wow.
So now, don't get me wrong, you don't have to have $805,000 sitting there, but you have enough money that can earn the money that equates to $805,000.
It allows you to continue the lifestyle that you've had.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So now you see why it's very important to start talking to young people about this type of stuff.
Yes.
Before they start getting caught into the trap of lending, borrowing, and spending.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah.
So when do you start? What age do you start? Like, I have a daughter now, she's only 9 months, but can I teach her by 1?
How old is she?
9 months.
Okay, 9 months. When she is at the age where she can
spend money, she could learn how to save money.
Yeah. When she could understand numbers, get her started by helping you.
Okay.
Get her started by helping you do the budget. I have a budget report electronically. My son was 4 years old when he was able to use a laptop. So at that point, sit him down and you tell her what to do and let her do it. Get her in the habit of doing it.
Okay. Train them young.
Yeah. Right.
Train them young. It's never too young to start.
Right. And I like to read other people like Donald Trump.
They make money.
Yes. And what I like about Donald Trump is that Donald Trump not just made money and lived lavishly, he made money and lost it all. And then came back bigger and better. And then lost it all.
It's never too late.
And right. Oh, you asked at what age? It's never too late.
Yeah.
I never use the age, I use the time.
Okay.
And the time is now.
Thank you all for listening in. This has been another episode of FSI Feature Friday with your host, Alicia Duncanson. Don't forget to subscribe for our newsletter for updates on our future podcasts.